Here's another view again. Look, he might have had some help by that truck right there going by. Looks like Brian Scott. He was very close to the back of Scott Lynch. Don't know if there was any contact or not. View screen. Kyle's going to come down a little bit to try to get by that number 8, and Mike Skinner looked like he just went up a little bit, and just enough to catch that left rear quarter of that 51 truck of Kyle Busch. This is a great view from the DirecTV blimp right here.
Oh, look at Chad Chaffin coming in there late, and John Wood too. All but had it missed. But Phil, no matter how slow you're going, you can't see through the smoke.
No, we can see here that they were going to run into somebody, but they can't do it from track level.
Yeah, you could see Skinner just pushed a little bit up off that corner, just like he had done off 4 the lap before, trying to hold it down. The thing just the front end got away from him, and Kyle changed lanes. If Kyle doesn't change lanes, Mike doesn't hit him. But Kyle figured it was fair to change lanes.
Yeah, Kyle was just running through the center. He wanted to move to the inside of Chad McCumbee. And unfortunately, when Mike Skinner eased up the racetrack a little bit, they made the contact, and this is what ensued.
Look at that violence. Parts and pieces flying, trucks on fire.
Jack Sprague. Jack Sprague trying to make his way through there.
I tell you what, Rick Crawford came through right behind that 63 that was on fire.
3 wide again.
Yeah, they're racing. They're racing.
Another early on, too. The 71 of Mike Bliss goes up the racetrack. He was hit. And now Colin Brown in the 6 is involved in this one.
There was contact with the 09 of Joey Clanton, and I think maybe the 71 of Mike Bliss that may have precipitated this. A lot of damage there to Colin Brown's truck. Tough break.
Slow it down
for that young driver.
Man.
Again, you were talking about him being 3 wide right away. You see Mike. Looked like Mike Bliss was holding his line that time, Michael.
And it looked like Clanton got a little bit loose. The truck then darted to the inside and hung into the right rear of Bliss and turned him up the hill.
Rick Crawford did another nice job avoiding that. Looked like something came off one of those trucks. Had a good, strong top 10 finish. Watch him. They're all the way down at the bottom of the racetrack. Tire goes down into the outside wall.
And that's quite a climb. Again, 31-degree banking in the corners here, so he was going uphill.
Here at Daytona, Kyle Busch and that team, I believe Richie Waters and those guys. Oh, what's going on with Darnell?
Problem with Darnell. He slows down, catches the 9 of Justin Marks. He'll slide right in front of Johnny Vincent. Vincent's through there unscathed, but the problem happens as they turn onto pit road.
Something was wrong with Eric Darnell. I think he
will just absolutely suck you right around. Watch this. And into the fence you go.
And worst possible time to do that with all that fuel in the rear of that truck. The air pressure's not even built up yet.
One of the things we see unique to the truck series, the truck on the outside loses the wind on the truck on the inside. And so
got trouble
problems with Justin Marks. He gets turned around in the number 9.
Looks like he's going to keep it.
No,
and he'll slap the wall.
Sure did, right at the very last instant. Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sounds hard, doesn't it feel?
Sure when you hit those walls, Rick.
if you come now.
See Scott's speed on the inside of that 85 truck.
And that's what
he bounced off the curb. We see it so many times.
But that's what happens. That 85 left that bottom open just enough that you say, is he going to let me in, or am I going to, whoops?
Yeah. There's another view right here. You're going to see Scott Musgrave. There's a little contact right there. Backs into the wall. And so that brings out our 4th caution of the day. Probably a bad plan.
You know what happens, though, Phil, is the guy on the outside, he's got to make the turn, too, you know? But the guy on the inside is coming straight in. The guy on the outside is turning in. They collide. Down in the corner, you're in my way. I got in a little hot. You didn't.
He spins up high. Now, Kyle had already decided to go up high.
Not a good idea. That 85 has been involved in a couple of incidences already. And John Wood just used up that 47 truck.
They just drove down in there. He was on the inside of the 3-wide battle, and you really don't have your marks when you're that 85 truck of who on the outside of the 03 of Chrissy Wallace, and make a little contact, creates a smoke screen.
Now he's safely up on the racetrack, and then all of a sudden backs back down in contact here, I do believe.
Looked like the 2 of Jack Sprague got in the back of Todd. Todd trying to regain control. Unfortunately, not able to do so. Then Chad Chaffin came along. He got a little bump from the back from Chad McCumbee. Slid into Todd's little incidental contact.
Yeah, well, that's kind of chain reaction thing, you know.
To getting in gear, I think. Did that one turned?
That's a new approach right there. You block the track. That way you can't go a lap down.
and it didn't work.
Looked like he was a little bit sideways. There may have been some contact with the 6th of Colin Brown down the back straightaway.
And it puts him up here. He's a little loose getting in. You can see that. Ron gives him a little nudge, and around she goes.
Every one of these caution laps will help that number. She's going to commit down to the bottom. The 20, as we talk about, takes his normal line into the corner, and Chrissy was committed to go to the inside there. Wasn't quite up there, but
when you got to go to the curb, you're
take another look at what just took place coming out of turn 2.
See the 30 of Tabodine goes by.
Looks like the 2 was trying to fall in behind the 30 and didn't leave enough room.
Yeah, made a little contact, I think, with the 60 truck of Terry Cook, and then Shelby Howard came along with absolutely nowhere to go.
From nowhere, and that's a shame. Shelby had a great.
See Kyle barrels it down into turn number 3. Ooh, Skinner just didn't go.
Skinner just had it almost like he didn't go.
Or maybe ran out of fuel, possibly?
He could be, because he looks like he's out of gas.
Martinsville.
Here comes Kyle Busch. He's kicking the nose. Oh, no! Around goes the 23. Around goes the 51. And coming out of 4, Dennis Setzer will win at Martinsville.
Whatever. Oh, no.
The field going by the 51 and the 23.
Oh. Stacy was just on the inside of the 07 of Ryan Lawler. It looks like he was going to save it and then just ran out of racetrack. John committed to the bottom, was trying to get by, thought Stacy would move back up the racetrack, and then they made contact down on the bottom of the racetrack. No damage for Brendan Gaughan.
Wow, I love that. Did you hear the motor on Brendan's truck? Look at that. Wide open, bowling the tires, keeps it heading in the right direction. Great job by Brendan Gaughan. You don't have any idea how hard that is to do.
That's textbook right there. That's how you do it right there.
Riding along with Bobby East.
Look how sideways that truck is right in front of him.
But he just buried the throttle and steered his way out of it.
Fortunate. All right, well, the guys are going to work here, and they will try as hard as they can to get this 99 back out there for those valuable points.
Eric will feel a little bit better if he...
Eric Darnell.
Take a look at this. This is why we're under our 4th caution of the day. It was Landon Castle spinning coming out of 4.
You see Scott Lagasse going by. That 20 truck on the apron avoids Landon Castle.
That's some plush grass. He was probably hearing an earful from his spotter, inside, outside, and when he got to the corner, he was a little bit maybe unsure of how much room he had on the inside, didn't turn his truck left soon enough and figure out what happened. Nah, too late. 20 trucks.
Looked like he was by himself, though. It didn't look like there was maybe any contact from any other trucks.
There was a gap. And we talked earlier, you have to commit to run wide open through these turns, and that's how you make the best time. He tried it, and he said, I think it'll stick, and it didn't. Got away from him. Luckily, no more damage, and some really good job by the field getting by him. Real close calls there.
Yeah, replays on the inside of the 40 of Chad Chaffin. Got a little bit loose, had to chase it, made some contact with Chad. Chad did a great job saving that truck, but unfortunately for Andy Lally, hard contact.
Difficult day for Andy Lally. This is coming through 3 and 4. You see Donnie Leah moved up, got into David Starr, and put him right into the wall.
A tough break for David Starr. Had a good run going, running up in the top 5. Donnie Leah did as well. Donnie got sideways.
A lot of damage to the right side of that number 18, and this is why.
Oh, he lost the right front tire, looks like.
Yeah, it looked like he cut down the front tire and then into the wall. Bobby East did a nice job avoiding him. Went through the grass and down pit road. Take another look at it.
This is evasive action at its best. Bobby East said, I believe I'll be taking a left. Didn't hit a thing.
Yeah, and didn't see him till the very last second because he was right behind the 46 of Landon Castle. Watch this now. This is going to be a great view right here.
Holy cow. What's he doing there?
Wow. Talk about instantaneous reflex.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, do you have to have great reflex?
See, Todd's going to dive down to the inside.
He
got loose before he even got into the corner.
It looked like he clipped the left rear of the 09 truck, which sent his truck sideways before they ever got to the corner. Look at Bobby East. He's plumb up out of the groove. He did nothing wrong. Todd just looks like maybe made a bit of a mistake entering turn 3 on the inside of that lap truck.
Going through this quad oval.
If John Wood had some sort of a problem, then he caught the quarter panel of Brian Scott, and Brian in turn made some contact with Donnie Leah.
Pretty innocent looking, but it turned out to be a mess.
Yeah, and for some reason it didn't.
Hornaday and Busch think right now they're racing.
Oh, look at Busch. He gets loose. He gets into the side of the 51. They get into the wall. Hornaday spinning in front of the field. They're all scattering behind. behind him. Caution comes out. The 33 and 51 made contact.
33 got loose down underneath the 51.
Dennis Setzer in the middle of this mess.
He's in a real bind there. Gets into the side of Andy Lally and turns around, and then behind this spin, watch him come joining.
Looked like the 9 of Justin Marks may have run into the back of the 59 of Ted Musgrave. Shot right there. You see Dennis sliding along the racetrack. There's Kyle Busch going down to the inside, getting by. A couple trucks making a nice move, and then
the 07 might have hit the 9, and the 9 might have hit the 59. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah,
chain reaction saving it. But when you're turning through the tri-oval like Ron is right there, no chance of saving it.
No, you have to turn. This is not, you don't just run this thing straight. That is a definite turn right there. When Ron had to turn that steering wheel left with Todd up under the back of that truck. You see he's on the outside of Matt Crafton. Matt gets loose. Got loose on the bottom. We see that so many times, especially here at Mansfield. A little bit flatter down there. Made just a slight bit of contact. Great. Now let's see. You see him on the inside of the third. Ooh, he locked up that left front tire and tried to stay off of Todd is what happened. Unfortunately for Scott and that Nicholson group. There's Mike Skinner now on the inside. They make a little contact before they even get to the corner, and that's what really got Ron Hornaday out of shape.
Skinner continued to chase his truck up the racetrack, and then while they were doing that, Johnny Benson went by on the bottom. So that's where Johnny Benson said, hey, I'm leading this race.
Yeah, there's another right after the contact right there that Mike Skinner and Ron Hornaday made some contact before they got down to turn number 3. You see Colin Brown got caught up a little bit, ran in. That's probably where the damage at some bottom. You see David, it's flatter down there. He just cannot keep that car down on the bottom. There was no malicious intent whatsoever with that incident, but nonetheless you have to be able to control your car or truck. David was not able to stay down because that track's a little bit, I would say, beating on the quarter panel. I don't know about the door. He hadn't quite got that far up, but
it's heating up, and there it goes. Eric Darnell turns him around. Brendan Gaughan circles his way through 1 and 2. The field stops behind him.
Now he's down on the inside of the 20 of Scott Lagasse. Very similarly, get up into the 20 of Scott Lagasse. Scott actually looked like his left rear tire had gone down. Maybe Eric Darnell, when they made slight bit of contact, he may have. And you see Kevin on the outside, and the 51 of Shane Sieg actually got in the back of Kevin, and that's what caused this incident. Then they make a little more slight contact. In front of that, he's in a battle with Benny Gordon right now for the 8th position.
Brian Scott goes around. It didn't look like anybody was near him. Came out. Brendan get a little sideways, and Crafton right up into him.
You saw him lock up the left front tire right there, and that didn't allow that truck to turn. He made contact with Brendan.
Take another look. There's the 21 right behind that 89.
Spun him out. The 89, we commented during qualifying today, Phil, that's a nice looking truck. AAA insurance might need to take a look at it now.
A lot of damage right now, but I tell you, you can see the banking on the straightaways here, both front and back side. Front side has a little more banking.
Outside wall. Oh no, he got into another truck. A little bit of
look
contact
at this hit.
There was.
Yeah, look,
man, it bent
busted
the wall.
Busted the wall where he hit it. Got a loose truck. Your right rear is going to heat up a little bit more than you have. Oh, contact. Problem. Andy Lally gets turned around. Rick Crawford goes on the high side.
Andy doesn't look
good save.
That was a great save down there. Fortunately for Andy, it was in the center of the corner. There's Jason White. He got a little
down into turn 3, and it looks like a replay of what happened down in turn 1.
Exactly. Shane Sieg, the 15 on the inside, gets loose.
Man, Brendan slid a long way before he finally lost control and got the back of that truck into the outside wall.
At that point, Brendan said, I've got it saved. I think I'm home free, and the thing swapped ends.
Todd comes up.
Todd gets real loose, and then he gets into the left rear quarter panel of Eric. Eric does a nice job of making just slight contact with the outside wall, but just about every incident we've seen has been a deal where the truck on the inside makes contact with the truck on the outside. Just got a little bit loose coming off of 2 and just got away from him just the slightest bit and did his best to catch that truck, and unfortunately going to make some contact with the inside wall. That is a safer barrier on the inside of the backstretch wall, though.
So if you're going to lose it off a turn, 2's better than 4.
The deck lid flying off. Nope, there it went.
Yeah, that's the usual result when you blow a right front tire.
Inside. Come on to pit road there.
Around coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, Eric was running in the 17th spot when this happened. You see him just about keeps it out of the inside wall. Then the truck gets turned around again, makes slight contact with the left front and the left rear.
make his way down the backstretch, and that thing got all over the racetrack.
It really did. Colin did a nice trouble. He just lost the tire.
Blew the right rear tire. We heard it blow as he went across the front stretch. And so that will bring out our 4th caution of the night.
Here's what happened. We saw the smoke the last time. Obviously gets down in turn number 1. The tire goes down. Pretty significant contact with a safer barrier for Jason White. There's another view right there. You see him. That's the smoke earlier. That's the lap before that. We see all that smoke. Yeah, obviously. Watch here now. See Scott. Ooh, there's a damage right there. Scott Speed ran up into the left rear quarter panel of Rick Crawford. That sent Scott with a great save to keep that truck out of the pit wall, but unfortunately it cut.
Race, obviously a difficult situation for him now. We see him sliding as that left rear went away. He slaps the wall there. The damage continues once he starts back up and tries to go back to the. And now Scott Speed looking to the inside. Oh, pretty problem. Speed into the wall. Scott Speed into the wall hard, and that will bring out another caution, the 8th caution of the night. And it comes out here at Texas Motor Speedway, and guess what? We're going to have a green-white checker.
Yeah. Well, and Johnny could get those 4 fresh tires, get him some gas, and be all set.
It's about right where he's coming off of pit road right now when Justin Marks got sideways.
He was on the inside of that great race.
And again, this all culminated back behind them. The 33 of Ron Hornaday got knocked in the back.
Looked like the 51 of Kyle Busch may have made contact.
That turned him around. Now the field was able to go through there, so we stayed green, and that enabled these.
Start-finish line for lap number 1, and then a little bit sideways for Michael Annett brings out the caution.
15 of Mark Mitchell.
How about the 8? Chad McCumbee moving up on the inside.
Ooh, Johnny gets really loose, slides through that corner.
Oh, problem! Jack Sprague's going to slide right in front of the field, and here they go. Coming out of turn 4, a melee.
See Ron Hornaday involved.
What happened?
This is right before the, ooh, that was the 21 and the 40 getting together. Kevin Wood, the 21, and Paul Poulter, the 40.
Debris on that racetrack, and then this is Chrissy Wallace way down on the bottom of the racetrack, but she comes up because she's so far down she can't keep the truck on the bottom of the track and comes up and gets into Chad McCumbee.
She had such a bad angle, and also she was down there, maybe picked up a little debris on her tire.
Caution comes out at Memphis. We take another look. Oh, Donnie Lee on the outside of him.
Yeah, they were completely sideways, and when they got down to turn number 3, you see the damage to the right rear quarter panel on top. Bounced off the pit wall, the inside of the pit wall, and then Dennis Setzer was pushed up the racetrack. Shelby Howard came along side by side with the 30 at Top 09, really nowhere to go. Tried to get on the brakes, but unfortunately made a little bit of contact with the 18 of Dennis Setzer. Damage there. See, just gets sideways right there in the middle of 3 and 4 and going to slide up the racetrack and make some more contact with the wall. Remember, he happened. See Todd on the inside. There's the 08 of Jason White. Todd makes a little bit of contact with the left rear quarter of that Gunbroker's Dodge. Around Jason goes, and Todd also loses it as well. The 51 of Shane Sieg did a terrific.
Take another look. What happened?
See Ted's on the outside. The 46 of Willie Allen gets a little bit loose, has to chase the truck up the hill, and he's the one that made contact with the 59 of Musgrave. And then the 15 of Mark Mitchell and the 21 came along really with nowhere to go. They were
look. That's Ryan Lawler in the 07 sliding on the bottom of the track.
You see part of the from the air pressure that built up underneath the truck, it blew out part of the trunk.
It's hard to understand whether someone got into the back of the 17. Usually when there's a spin like that and people let off the gas to 17, oh, he just makes an evasive move to get under the 81 in the mess.
And got loose.
Lost control of his truck.
You see the air push up that trunk on that truck as well.
Great camera work, guys, catching that.
This one's in progress already as she was up into the wall.
She was racing along there with David Starr.
Yeah, David Starr was right by that truck when we first caught a glimpse of it, so we don't know if there may have been some contact there, or maybe they were just racing hard and maybe lost a little air off the spoiler. Not sure exactly what happened. Maybe Chris for sure.
Oh, that's
we got a little nudge right there from Ted Musgrave, and then it put Kyle up into the 8 of Chad McCumbee. The 99 Eric Darnell had nowhere to go, as well as the 9 of Justin Marks, but we know the 51 right now
on the wall. What happened?
Ooh, John Wood, the 21, makes a little bit of contact.
I think Todd was trying to go up the hill, and John was in that hole.
John was in that hole, and Colin Brown came along, tried to get between them.
Did you see Kyle Busch slide through there?
Yeah, Rick Crawford also sliding
Ron
through there.
Hornaday as well.
Yep. We saw Willie Allen way on the bottom of the racetrack avoiding all this.
Incredible job by some of these guys.
He's sideways right there with Terry Cook.
Looked like he might have tried to move up in front of Terry Cook and possibly didn't have him cleared.
We've seen that happen a couple different times. Michael Annett and Ty Bodine was one of those times we saw that. There goes tied by.
Comes out once again.
See Brian up on top of the racetrack, gets a little nudge from Donnie Lee in the 71 truck. Around he goes, no contact with the outside wall, smokes up the racetrack. Bad break for Mike Skinner. He had just gone a lap down. But
Three wide. Brendan gone. The 4 in the middle of Stacey Cobbett. A problem up on the wall. The 09 gets way up almost onto two wheels and almost over. And that brings out our 4th caution of the night. Green flag just coming back out.
Oh,
As the field goes onto the backstretch and Justin Marks gets turned around. He's sideways on the backstretch.
watch this now. I wonder if maybe did Kyle get into the back of him and send him into the corner a little bit harder?
And then he got on the brakes.
And then he locked the brakes up. And when he locked the brakes up, it just went hard straight to the right-hand side. When you lock the brakes up, they won't turn at all. There they are, side by side, the 9 and the 09. Justin just gets loose getting down in the corner.
Oh, and he runs the 09 into the wall again. You know, I was impressed with how fast the 09 was going. We've seen him almost turn over on the front straightaway. All this earlier. Once you're down on the inside of a truck and you try to crowd up, it's not the most wise thing to do. And Dennis had driven around Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
And had a fast truck. Maybe he just didn't know that Dennis was up there. Scott didn't.
They did a little bit of a rubbing all the way down the straightaway, and then Castle, there they make contact entering the corner. Landon gets sideways, had to chase that truck a little bit when he caught the left rear corner of the 15. It got him sideways and into the outside wall. Take another look at it. It looked like the 88 of Matt Crafton gets into the 30.
He just gets, you know, he just tried
got loose and had to chase it. When he did, he got into the 30. The 2 of Jack Sprague gets into Terry Cook. Then it just closes up. Todd comes off the wall. Terry goes up the 6, and the 2 had absolutely nowhere to go.
And you know, Michael, don't do this to me. We're going to have a restart, and Ron Hornaday is going to be right back on our bumper. So this is a caution Bill Davis did not want to see, especially when you think of the fact that his truck brought it out.
Takes that truck into the garage. Take a look at this. Kevin Wood sliding sideways back up into the wall.
And then the 09 came along and ran into the back of Terry Cook.
And it looked like it ran into the back of Terry Cook hard enough to where there is some damage on that truck. You saw what happened to the front of the 09, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be something on the...
Yeah, already you see the truck stopped in the
like
back.
51. John West right here.
Oh, the 60 got loose underneath of Kevin Wood and ran into Kevin Wood. That had his momentum all slowed down, and here come John West Townley and run into the back of the 60.
Watch this now. This is actually turn number 4. You see him get loose. He chases it up the hill. I don't even think he might have made contact with the wall, but the biggest thing is now watch him continue to steer that thing and locks the brakes, gets in the gas and locks the brakes up at the opportune time to try to keep the thing out of the outside wall.
And if you're at home and you're saying, well, that's not a save. Oh,
it's now 4 wide. Jason just runs out of room. TJ makes some contact with him. He had to go somewhere. That was a situation where discretion would have been a better part of valor.
Like I said, he needed the 7 truck of TJ Bell to get right there. Oh, he just comes up and gets on the inside of the back truck. That's all on Colin right there. You know, he just lost. He was driving his truck hard. It got sideways, made contact, and shot him down into that inside wall. This
little tap down there going in turn number 1.
Oh, and it looked like Tyler had a flat tire.
Looked like he had a flat tire when he went in the corner. There was no...
he's going to need, because look at all the track position he's getting ready to leave.
07 involved as well.
So I got the 09 got into the side of the 07. Let's take a ride along. Jimmy Johnson right now rides in the 16th position.
Whoa, he got his hands full. Is he going to save it? It looks as though he will. Oh, he's still fighting it. He gets turned around right in front of the traffic. There's contact made.
Possible, but darn. Oh, we got a spinner in turn 2.
Sure enough, Chad McCullough. Oh, that's actually Brian Scott, and he's going to create a look. Oh boy, we've got contact behind him. It looked like it was going to be. No.
Doesn't have any oil. This is interesting. The 48 and the 21 get together, getting into one. You can see the 13
You saw Ty Bodine and Scott Speed go by. Now watch this.
It's a long time afterwards that these two, but you can't see, Phil. You're coming down the front show, you have no idea there's two trucks laid up in the middle of the corner. You're waiting on your spotter to tell you.
McCumbee, Ted Musgrave on the bottom. Oh, little contact right there. Musgrave goes by. Oh, Jason White turned around.
Jason White gets turned around. That will cause another caution to come out. We have tied the record here for caution flags. How this will end. They will have one chance to go 2 laps.
Man,
just got away from him there.
we've seen that a lot tonight.
Really
we
have.
talked about the tires are softer this time, but yet trucks are jumping out from underneath guys.
That's Rick Crawford right there leading that group up. Watch, see Bobby's going to come along. See him just get a little bit loose, and then actually did not make any contact with the outside wall, but slid into the inside wall. Hit it with the both right rear and the right front.
Yeah, so that's really going to hurt his handling there. You can see how that quarter panel is all caved in. We're safe.
And they're going to bring the field onto pit road. Let's take another look here at what took place. He just looks like he got turned around.
Hard contact. Again, you're going awfully fast on these straightaways, upwards of 150, 160 miles an hour on these straightaways. And as you enter the corner, that's when you're most vulnerable and battling to try to stay in that position so he can get the next Aaron's Lucky Dog if we have one. Ooh, trouble. And here comes an Aaron's Lucky Dog right now.
Problems there. It looks as though 3 different trucks involved and more starting to pile up behind them.
Automatic touch, and it just shoves the nose to the inside, and he spins them, spin out. And that's exactly what happened to David Starr there.
We saw Bobby East get loose coming off turn number 2 early in the race, and he made contact with that inside wall. We're going to see another view of it. You see David's already extremely loose when he made contact with the 14 of Rick Crawford, but that's at speed, so that's how fast it really happens. When we
We're looking for the 40 of Paul. He looks like he's right by himself. He's right behind the 21 of Kevin Wood.
Maybe he was trying to get under Kevin Wood. That truck hit pretty hard, but he was able to drive away. But that's only the first or second lap, Phil, and that's not the way it works here in the Truck Series, Phil.
No, contact right there. They get into each other, and as they slide sideways, the field tries to get around a lot of smoke. Everybody down on the apron of the racetrack, and it looks as though Skinner's going to be able to keep going. Rudiman's still pointed the wrong direction.
What happens when they get to turn 1? Does David get loose?
He gets loose, has to chase it up the hill. It didn't look like it was really out of shape, but you could tell it was loose. It wiggled. He had to chase it up the hill, and there the 81 was. Something we've seen happen.
Crawford. Oh, and difficult for Travis Quapple. Right in front of him, and it's spinning. The 17 gets turned around. Travis Quapple has to check up. Ron Hornaday goes by. TJ Bell also moving by as the caution comes out.
Man, I thought the 17 went in there awful aggressively.
Just took place.
See, looked like maybe Scott got into the left rear, maybe, Phil. And
looks like he just shot to the outside of the racetrack.
Maybe he got hit, maybe sideways a little bit. Not a real good look at it. David Starr just was able to get some momentum off 4 and got on the inside of Rudiman and lost his truck.
Yeah, we've got an onboard camera with David Rudiman.
4 wide?
Looks like 4 wide to me.
4 wide.
I love 4 wide here at Loudon.
4 wide. Oh, we got Brendan Gaughan gets turned around, and right behind him, the Conway Freight gets turned around. Around goes the 88 of Matt Craftsman as well.
See Brendan, he got a little bit loose on the inside of Kyle Busch.
That started it.
That started, and then looked like the 6 of Colin Brown was spinning right behind that.
Yep. Jack Sprague got into the back of the 88. That's what got Matt Crafton turned around.
Matt's on pit road.
There's another view right here going into turn number 1. Rick Crawford right out in front of this 3 and 4 wide battle. The 10 and the 51 definitely made contact.
Yeah, there's 2 crashes going on, though. Somebody has got the back of Colin Brown and got him into the outside wall.
That 88 got turned around and kept right on going.
See David Starr down on the inside. That's the 3rd truck that David Starr has been on the inside of and made contact with that left rear, and it puts Ty Bodine into the outside wall.
Man.
There's turn 1 there. You see he's right in line, and then you start sparking. The right front tire goes down, and that's a huge impact right there. That caused a lot of damage, as we could see as it got on pit road.
Yeah, let's listen in to Johnny Benson. This is what he heard.
You hear the rubber slapping and flopping around that sheet metal.
On for quite some time. Here is the incident right here. Brendan Gaughan had to chase his truck up, caught the left rear.
And that's what I talked about earlier. The truck on the inside loses the arrow, loses a side fork. Brendan, he chased that truck up the track there just a little bit.
Caution flag. He was riding through turn number 4. They just lost control. does a nice job keeping that truck out of the outside wall. Shane Sieg did a very nice job avoiding that, and we're getting ready for. See Bobby East way up. Ooh, it looked like the 16 of Brian Scott just got sideways. Bobby East was way out on the outside, and then looked like he maybe ran into the back of another truck or avoided that other truck, and it put him in the outside wall. You see him drive to the inside of Kyle. Ooh, then he just got a little bit loose, Doug.
It almost looks like he got a little too low and maybe clipped that apron. And what happens when you touch that apron, it forces that left front tire up in there, and it de-wedges the truck, and it'll cause it to get really loose.
See Colin Brown go by. See Shane Sieg gets a little bit loose, chases it up the hill. We're just talking about the truck on the inside getting loose, Doug, and it happened.
And there it was, right behind the group of trucks that we were talking about, and it just takes a little tap, and away they go.
Finish to this as we're winding down on the laps. Take another look at what happened.
It's a little contact right there. Looked like the 16 maybe of Brian Scott made some contact with David Starr around David. It went pretty hard contact with the inside wall.
A lot of damage right there to the number 11 Red Horse team.
Who's going to win it? It is going to be Mike Skinner. Skinner will win it over Eric Darnell.
How about that finish? Woo!
Big crash right in front of the start-finish line. Colin Brown with a lot of damage.
You want to work with guys that you think you're going to need all day. Oh,
problems right there. Jack sprang into the wall hard.
Looked like he got run into from behind. Made pretty hard contact with the outside wall.
Look.
Watch the inside now. He's side by side with the 16 of Brian Scott. And then all of a sudden, bam, the tire goes down. Around he goes. You see the carcass flying off. And John Andretti was just caught by the back end of that Conway Ford.
What a great job of driving those trucks did there to avoid that.
They did a fantastic job, and how lucky are we that
Colin Brown now has the nose.
Oh, there it goes.
Problems
there
behind him, and this will end the race. Who's in front?
The caution isn't out yet. This is all behind the pack. Maybe the caution hasn't flown. No caution.
They still haven't thrown the caution. It's Todd Bodine at the line. He'll win again.
And T.J. Bell into the outside wall, comes across the line 8th into the outside wall.
How about Todd Bodine winning the last 3 super speedway races?
He was able to get Kyle Busch sideways off turn.
Strategy, and right now we see here comes the 33 as you see a look at the 9 getting turned around, but the 33 of Ron Hornaday's down there on pit road. Adam, and his problems that he had.
He just got hit in the back by John Wood. You can see the front end of Wood's truck caved in as Skinner goes into the wall.
Yeah, John was on the back of him. They got against him going down in the corner right there. Boom. You see Dustin backed off with the corner. John didn't. He got into the back of him and just pushed his truck.
From underneath of it, you're really in jail. And these guys.
Oh, David Starr gets in the back of the 99.
Eric Darnell goes around. David Starr got into the back of him, so Darnell slides around, and that brings out our 3rd caution of the day.
Wow.
Yeah, they make contact in the middle of the straightaway, and unfortunately, John gets the worst of it. There's Kevin Harvick right there going by. Kevin's running in the 3rd spot. I think Ron Hornaday knows that if Johnny Benson gets by him, that may be the last shot he has on him, and if he does it before halfway.
Johnny Benson and the 33 of Ron Hornaday. Here's Jeff Green getting turned around.
Yeah, it looked like he just jumped out from under him. The 71 of Ben Stancil was beside him.
Take a look at this from the.
It looks like there was a little contact from the 71 of Ben Stancil, but it looked like it was a kind of a chain reaction thing. Kent comes off the corner, makes some pretty hard contact. Looked like the 88 possibly of Matt Craftsman was behind him. And gets to the inside. They get down to the corner, just makes some contact. The Zachary Toyota makes some pretty hard contact with a.
Right behind Johnny Benson on this restart.
See Jeff Green gets hooked by Sam Hornish. Looked like Sam moved up and Jeff was still there, and it sent Jeff's truck out of control.
Yeah.
Benson with that win will now take over the lead. Problems coming out of turn number 4. Brendan Gaughan gets turned around.
Took evasive action because of this. He spun out. And if you want to know how important air is to these trucks, that truck right behind him just swiped a little bit of the air off that rear spoiler, and Donnie Leah was passing people. He was going to town. He said, I like my truck. Next
in the pits for the next time around.
There's Brent Raymer making the slide through the infield. We've seen that already from Donnie Leah. And now Brent Raymer also bringing out the caution. It's the 3rd one of the day. The 2nd caution was a competition caution because of the lack of.
Started 3rd, leading the race.
Kyle Busch leads the first. Cale Gale gets turned around, slides up the racetrack. People are wrecking behind him.
Clear all around, all clear.
The 21 of John Wood is involved. We've got Cale Gale, and there's another truck that moved up in front of Cale Gale.
To the 09 of Travis Kvapil jumps to the inside.
Oh, and then the 2 moved up to try to give him some room. Just to give him some room, but there was a truck. Rick Crawford was on the outside of him. There wasn't room to move up.
Yeah, then the 30 of Ty Bodine looked like he was in the back of the 7, and he got in the back of the 21, and that's what caused these guys to be involved. But it was a chain reaction deal. No blame on Todd.
Yeah. You know, these guys came across the start-finish line a mile series. Very fast on the high side of the racetrack right there. Hornaday's thinking, man, just give me a break. I just need a...
Problem for Max Pappas. He's into the wall, coming out of 2.
He's going to try to make his way through the middle of the pack. Looks like nobody else will be involved. You see, the tire is already smoking. Looks like he may have broken a spindle or a hub or something like that, Mikey.
Yeah, something went wrong with the steering on that truck, and he just looked like a ride along, and that.
Yeah, there was nothing he could do. It pulled him right into that.
Now, how does this happen? Looks like David Starr tries to get into a hole that isn't there. Yep. Dennis Setzer had filled up the bottom of the racetrack, but Starr is so lucky. Look at that thing slide up the hill, but he keeps it out of the wall.
Did a nice job keeping that truck out of the outside wall. David was the victim of a 3-wide situation. He was in the middle, and then after that,
he's really lost it well up in that 4th turn. Never did go all the way around until he got on pit road. And watch him light this thing up, Phil. He's trying to drive it and keep it off that wall.
And I think he did it, too. Great job by Donnie Leah.
Never gave up. That's what's very difficult, to keep your truck up under you when you've got another truck.
Problems already. There goes Ron Hornaday. He turns around. Into the wall he goes. The left front of the truck. And problems with the 71 getting into him as well.
Johnny Benson got a piece of that. He got a piece of Ron Hornaday.
But Ron slides up the hill and gets into Kyle Busch.
Had to chase that truck up the hill. He made contact. Kyle does a nice job saving his truck, but Ron Hornaday cannot keep that truck out of the outside wall. And J.R. Fitzpatrick, who had a great qualifying effort, came in and made some pretty hard contact with the...
I liked his hair.
Again, there's another look at what just took place.
Wow, I don't understand what happened.
Smashing into the inside barrier.
A little bit. He's got some great trucks he's racing with. Ooh, look at Colin Brown.
6. He's going to go around. Into the wall goes Colin Brown. And that was contact with the 23 of Johnny Benson. And a caution comes out once again. The 4th one of the night.
Benson's down on the inside of TJ Bell when they get to turn 1. Ooh. Johnny's in trouble from the word go.
Hard.
Yeah, Johnny just expected TJ to go in a little wider, give him a little bit more room. Johnny had that inside wall coming up on his left, and they just made contact, entering turn all over the racetrack. Yeah, then he gets down there. I think something may have been rubbing. I'm not sure the right front. Now the right front tire is flat even before he hits the wall. So something was obviously rubbing that right front tire. It went down. Johnny makes contact with the wall. But meanwhile, see, John West goes on the outside of the 11 of David Starr, then on the outside of the 15. I don't think Kenny knew that John West was there. Moved up the racetrack a little bit, squeezed John West into the outside wall.
That's a shame. Both those guys were having good runs. John West in a backup truck, he wrecked.
Quiet on the radio is the situation for Johnny Benson. He's dropped back to 13th, and now we have our first caution of the night.
Yeah, it's Ryan Hackett that got turned around coming out of turn 4.